Ruben here with VFA105 Gunslingers, and I am starting up a little mini-series for the F-18 in hopes that I can bring my flight up to speed. We did start up a new dedicated flight for missions, and I just want to make sure they have the tools for success. So video 1 of this series is going to be a cold and dark start. Just a little disclaimer, this isn't going to be full-on mil sim, correct procedures, how to do anything in here. This is just a basic understanding so that viewers can be more comfortable and whatnot within the sim and the F-18. So with that being said, let's get started. We'll go to battery on over here. We'll go ahead and skip our fire tests A and B. I'll go ahead and put the position lights up and get rid of that pilot. From here, we can go ahead and turn the APU on to provide auxiliary power to our aircraft, and which allows us to start our engines. APU on. So we're going to wait for this to spool up, and we'll get a little green light when it is ready. In the meantime, I'm just going to set my bingo here, slash joker. I like to set to about 4,000 pounds. And we have that green light, so we'll go ahead and begin to crank our right motor first. This allows us to get hydraulic pressure to replenish our brake accumulator right here for our parking brake. So at about 25%, that's when we'll kick the throttles over the horn to idle, and right throttle is over. So once this spools up to about 65% and stabilizes, we'll go ahead and press on with the rest of our checks.
Roll left. Flight control.
Alright, awesome.
Flight
It looks
control.
like we're steady state with our number 2 motor. We'll go ahead and turn our left DDI to day. We'll turn our HUD on mid-range or so. Our altimeter to radar is what I prefer until we're airborne. Right DDI to day, and then our AMPCD all the way up to bright. Then over here, we'll go ahead and turn radar to operate. Don't worry, weight on wheels, the radar won't actually kick on. And since we are on a boat, we will put our INS knob to CV for carrier alignment. Get that stick out of the way, and we'll go ahead and do a stored heading alignment. Then I come up to our right DDI, I'll hit stop to get this flashing to stop. I'll go to IR cool to norm. It's not modeled, so don't really worry too much about that. And turn the HMD on to bright. Engage our standby here. And then we'll go ahead and power up our RWR. And I'll throw my ECM into bit and dispensers to on. And let's go ahead and turn that to a bit as well for our RWR. We'll get a bunch of tones. While that's happening, we'll go ahead and bring our flaps up to auto for now. And then on our left DDI, FCS page, we got a bunch of X's that we need to clear for faults due to the flaps just sitting and drooping and whatnot. So we'll go reset. And then this is our takeoff trim button here. We'll go ahead and press and hold that. I like to turn my RWR down because it is a little loud and obnoxious, but it's good at the same time. Low box switch to on, and now we're ready to crank our number 1 motor or left motor. So we'll go ahead, get that cranking. Once it's at 25%, we'll go over the horn. And into idle we go. Go ahead and reset this master caution. Hit it twice to restack the faults. And while that's running up, I check down here, hook bypass, we are carrier. Landing taxi light off, and I skid off. So we're good there, and it looks like both motors are steady state. We can turn our APU off, and then close our canopy. Alright, now that that's set, I prefer to do a FCS bit, so I'll hit here. And then there's a little switch that I have hotkeyed right here alongside the wall. We'll go ahead and flip, and you want to hold it. And then while holding it, you gotta hit the FCS button and then release that switch. And then your FCS system or flight controls will start doing their bit check. Now while that's going, we'll go back to the bit page, displays, HMD, and we'll get that started as well since that's now modeled. That little beeping confirms that our FCS did pass its bit, and we did cycle through all our HMD symbology there. So we'll go ahead and hit stop. FCS is a go, HMD is a go. So we'll come over and get to our support page, HMD, and we'll begin our HMD alignment. All you gotta do is line up these two crosses here together and press and hold cage uncage while maintaining the alignment. Alright, pretty good. We just have to adjust the axis slightly as we're a little off. Alright, much better. I don't need to worry about roll, but if you did, you just have to, without looking, because now we got center display, you'd hit cage uncage and it shift over to roll, and you'd adjust that as well with the TDC salute cursor. So we're happy with our alignment there. We'll unbox the line. Go ahead and check our aircraft weight just to get an idea, 48,000. With that being said, we are slightly over, so we'll be at 19 degrees nose up trim. Throw the FCS page over here, and we'll put our flaps into half. So now flaps are at half. I'll bring up the HUD over here. And with the AMPCD, I like to turn down the gain quite a bit so I can actually read what's going on lettering wise. Go ahead and box waypoint, get that set up, get our sequence going. And you can throw it in auto if you so choose. If you are on land, you won't be able to select auto because you're not moving yet. Our alignment is good, 0.5 for quality, and we do have an OK, so we can go ahead and switch this to IFA for in-flight alignment. And I'll let the satellites periodically update our aircraft with new INS GPS information. You can see that we are pause AINS here. And just looking over the panels real quick, just seeing if we're all good. Everything's looking good. Radar altimeter. Go ahead and set this to 300. So anytime we're at 300 or below, that little siren will go off. If you do have a FLIR pod, now is a good time to go ahead and set this in standby, and that'll get it warmed up while you're completing the rest of your checks. Throw our ECM into receive. Our RWR bit was good from earlier. Throw the stick back on. And now the last little bit I like to do is turn the data link on. ICLS, which I know is channel 11. We'll enter that in. Usually you can find all this information if you check the briefing. So right here we have TACAN 74 X-ray, the ICLS is 11, and we have a BRC of 357 degrees, as well as our frequency 127,500, and it looks like it's preset COM2 channel 1. We'll just go ahead and give COM2 a little click, and it looks like 127,500 is indeed the carrier frequency. So we'll go over to TACAN, enter 74, transmit receive. X-ray is boxed, enter, and we'll go ahead and press and hold to turn that on. And we are again DME information here, 0.1 nautical miles, which is acceptable. And it looks like we are the Theodore Roosevelt as well. IFF will also want to turn on. And now we are about ready for taxi. If you're waiting on other people, you can go ahead, and now's a good time to set up weapons, air to air or air to ground, depending on your mission, because the more you do on the ground, the less you got to do up in the air when things can get really hectic. I'll go ahead and blank out that HMD. The little shortcut to blank out the HMD, I'll show you real quick. Is the RECE event mark switch. So if you got that bound, you can just blank it out. However, if you are on the SA page, you cannot RECE it. It won't allow you because that's pretty much the expand function of the cursor, is that RECE event switch. So you just have to make another screen your soy, and then you'll be able to do it. Like my radar here, for instance, now I can hit the RECE button and it comes back on. So all we have to do now is release the parking brake and then call our ground crew to remove chocks, and then we are good to go.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
All right, and with that, we are ready to taxi on a Cat 1. That'll be for another video for our Cat launch. I hope this video was pretty informative and it helps some of my flight members, or anyone else for that matter who's watching this video. Please leave a like, a subscribe, and share this video if you think it helped you. And maybe it can help some more people. Until then, stay tuned for the next video, and we'll go over Cat launch procedures. Thanks.